Welcome back to the vlog and welcome back to Nankina, Papua New Guinea. It is 7:41 in the morning today and my name is Ryan. We're on a 10% slope runway today and 540 meters long. I came out here at dawn and now we're just heading back to Goroka. So let's get started. Our fuel's on. Igniters, fuel pump, low start. Over 14%. I'm gonna add my fuel. And watching my ITT come up and watching the rate of that little white needle as it comes up. Make sure that it's not going to go into the yellow. At 648. Generator, alternator, aux bus, prop forward. Strobe's on, landing light. I'm going to wait for my landing light. A lot of times when I put my landing light on, it lets them know that I'm going to get ready to take off. Because I actually can't see the bottom of the runway. Kind of like the roller coasters as you're going over, you don't see the bottom until you're kind of right on the crest, and that's kind of the way it is here. So what they do is they raise one arm to let me know that it's good, or they put both arms up in case there's a pig or like a person on the runway or whatnot. We got 670 pounds of fuel for my return trip. It's just a half hour back to Goroka. 126 kgs of coffee underneath, not very much, just 3 bags. So I'm going to put in 194 on my cargo. That's going to give me, the reason why we put these weights in is because it spits out our total aircraft weight, and then I know what rotation speed and what approach speed I can come in. So we're taking off today with 5520 for all up weight, so it rotates 55 and 64 if we had to come back in. I've gone back at 10,000 feet. Our V2 tracker on and get it started. So fuel caps and selectors, our controls are good. Definitely turn Betty off for this one because she'll be screaming at us. There's terrain ahead and pull up. Which is in instruments. We've got our instruments all set up how we would like. Flaps are set, indicated at 20 and also verified at 20. Set my trim. Go full right rudder trim on takeoff. It just makes it easier. You don't have to push quite as hard on the rudder pedal. My abort on this one, it's airspeed alive by those little group of people up here on the left. They've already got one arm up saying that it's okay to go. So I'm going to go ahead and put my landing light on and let them know that I'm get ready. Put it in high idle, and that way it also just kind of... Oh no, they're saying one's on the runway now. Sometimes it's one arm up, and sometimes it's just flapping the hand say no. Okay, now it's one arm up. Okay, there we go. Well, now we got 2 arms up, so yeah, a little confusion going on here. Alright, airspeed alive by those people. Otherwise, full reverse, heavy braking, flaps up, cut off, pull off, shut off if we're going off. We are going off, go off into some high bushes. We've got a ditch on the left and a ditch on the right as well. After takeoff, pitch for 85, consider PL, consider feather. Down towards lower terrain. I'll pull off and shut off, cracker door, masters, and emergency button. We'll do solar once we get airborne because I can never get them out here. All right, 20 degrees, 5,000, 1390 for 1440. All right, ignition, condition, flaps 20 and fuel and harnesses. And rotate 55. 1390. There you go. Airspeed's alive, continue. 50, 55. All right. I'm coming out with my ITT at 740, and the ground just drops off like 1,500 feet at least. And like I said, the ocean is right up there, about 12 to 15 miles away. And then the mountains climb all the way up to 13,000 feet in just 12 to 13 miles, so pretty crazy. Just dropped off some passengers here, and they've got about, I'm actually going to fly over where they're going and see how far away it is, but I think it's only like 5 miles away, and it's going to be a 12-hour hike. So I got to go all the way down, all the way up, all the way down, all the way back up, again down, and then they're there. It's insane here. It really is. All right, over 85, we're gonna go 10 degrees of flaps. Bringing that back pressure up a little bit. 0 degrees over 90 and climbing. And bring our prop back to 2000 RPM. And that drops our ITT down to 720, so I'm just gonna let that settle in. And then if it's not where I need it to be, then I'll make a small adjustment. So it looks like it's settled at 720, still going down, so I'll let it just sit there. So we're flying back to Goroka. We come out here to Nankina at dawn because usually the fog comes in pretty quick. There's been times where I've gone over and I've done a practice go around, perfectly clear, not a cloud in sight. On my crosswind, got back on my downwind, clouds started appearing. By the time I was on my final, I was basically weaving my way through clouds, landed, and within 2 minutes of actually landing, fog completely covered the whole runway. So that's how quickly the weather can change, just in a matter of about a minute and a half of just doing, not even a full pattern. I basically just did a 270 and came right back around. Just absolutely crazy. So right down here is where they are hiking to. So, I mean, yeah, let me bring this up and see how far away it is. 5 miles, not even a full 5 miles in a direct line as a crow flies, and it takes them 12 hours to make the hike. Insane. Again, I have got 13,000 foot mountains off to my left, but I have to cross over there. So if I can get up to 11,000, I can just hop over and then head on back down to 10,000. And I think there's actually a gap up, I can do it at 9,000, so. Pull up our search and rescue, or flight following is what we call it. Moresby 5565, November Tango Echo departure. Moresby 6622, November Tango Echo departure.
No Tango Echo, most good.
Hey, morning, November Tango Echo, departed Nankina, time 4-5, tracking 251, on climb 10,000, estimating Goroka 13. Right, well, that's amazing. I actually got a hold of them. It's such a hit and miss here with HF radio. Some days it works great, other days it doesn't work at all, and some days VHF doesn't even work at all. Copy Sierra to Delta, November Tango Echo. Alright, it's getting a little chilly.
November Tango Echo, Moresby.
November Tango Echo, copy Sierra India Delta, November Tango Echo. Right now that we're out of the area, taxi light off, landing light, bypass back to normal, and igniters are turned off. And our SAR is now complete. I believe the gap that I'm heading for right up here, I think I can get through at like 9,000 something, I believe. So I'm already at 9,400. Put up to 10,000. We'll see if we can't just hop over right there. If not, we'll just go down just a tiny bit more to the next gap, and I know one of them I can get through around that altitude. It is pretty insane though, just how rugged this terrain is. I mean, we've got waterfalls coming out everywhere, and looking down, I still see some villages out here in the middle of nowhere, houses scattered through the mountains. It's insane. Definitely it would be a hard life to live in these kind of environments all the time, definitely. All right, just now approaching 10,000 feet. And I'm gonna just see, so one way, if you are flying in mountains and stuff, one way we can know if we're actually flying over top of it. So I'll just hold my altitude at 10,000. As I do come up to this, first thing I'm gonna look at is my my indicated wind. So it says I have 18 knots behind me. So I know that as I'm coming up, I'm gonna have some updrafts that are gonna push me over. I'm also looking to see if I'm seeing any land on the other side of that starting to appear. So I'm right at 10,000 feet now, 10,050, and I'm seeing more and more ground on the other side of it. I know that I'm going to be able to
500.
Easily pass through this without any issues because I'm seeing more ground. That's saying that I'm higher than the actual gap. So it is pretty windy here, but it's not really a bumpy wind right now. So I feel comfortable flying through here even with an 18 knot, now 16 knot tailwind. Get my torque back down to 1250 just for my cruise torque. There we go, this is really awesome. I think just another probably 500 feet on that side of me. I can just barely squeak through. I'm at 10,100. Don't really want to go much lower, especially with these kind of winds.
500.
That's good to know for next time I come in this way. 10,000 feet is what I can get through. Now I hit all of the wind. All that wind gets channeled through that little venturi, speeds up, and then twirls as it goes over tops of the mountains, and now here's all the big bumps. I'd love to fly my drone around some of these waterfalls. I mean, there are just thousands and thousands of waterfalls here in Papua New Guinea. I don't think you could ever even get to them all. There's so many of them. I'm sure it'd be fun to get some cool pictures of them. Like I said, I started my day at 5 in the morning, well actually 4:30 driving into work, but 5 in the morning. We took off at 6 in the morning, dropped off some passengers out there. I'm coming back to Goroka, and then I've got another rounder later, and I actually got to get checked out into a new place I haven't been to before, so I'm really excited about that. I think it's like a 12% slope, and yeah, a proper mountain runway. Kind of a cliff at the end and a really small tight pattern with mountains all around, and I'm really excited about it. So the things that we get excited still even here, yeah, it never gets old, never gets boring, and the weather keeps you on your toes every day. So I'm going to send home base a quick text just to see if there's fog, because a lot of times at 8 in the morning there's fog, and I don't want to have to get there and then head on down to Madang, or there's an actual approach. We don't have an approach into Goroka, so I'm going to quickly connect my V2 and send them a note so they can hopefully text me back before I waste too much of my time being there. All right, so just as easy as that, just sent them a quick message. I'm just going to hit my telephone button right here, and that way it's going to ding when they send me the text message back. Little box right here, it will have the text on there. I can scroll through there and acknowledge it, or I can bring it back up on the iPad and acknowledge it that way as well if I wanted to type it in more. And then when underneath the dash, we actually have this little tiny keyboard that we can type in if for some reason we can't connect to the iPad for some reason. All right, I'm going to set my descent in here, so I'm going to put my altitude that I want. So usually what I do when I'm coming in from this direction, I just put in my turning base, or correction, turning final altitude at 5,600, hit enter, and come down to my vertical speed. I'll do 800 today, I don't know how many passengers on board. And then what it does is it gives me a nice little top of descent on the screen. And then Betty will let me know, hey, top of descent, time to go down. And I don't have to do any math to figure out when I need to start my descent. For those of you who fly home simulators at home and you like to fly around PNG, or you think that'd be really cool, one of my patrons actually designed Nankina, where we just left out of, and I'm going to be posting that on my Patreon page so that you can actually fly from Goroka out to Nankina, or Nankina back to Goroka. And like I said, it's a 10% slope. It'd be pretty awesome. So anyways, thank you, Logan, for building that. I'm excited that other people are going to be able to see your handiwork. And if you're interested in flying flights like this, check out my Patreon page. I do post flights like this, similar ones, exact flights I do, depending on where I'm going. So yeah, check that out. And if you guys are interested in helping the channel out at all, I also have missionarybushpilot.com. Check out that. I've got some things on there that help the channel be able to pay for cameras and stuff. I've got a bunch of new cameras on the way, so hopefully the quality of everything is going to be upped in the next few months when I actually get all of that here in Papua New Guinea. We are 7.5 minutes out and just 21 miles to run Goroka, so I'm going to go ahead and start with my checklist because I'm almost at top of descent. The first one, selectors and brakes, is done. We'll leave TAWS inhibited because we're going to be just hopping over these mountains in the Bennett Gap. And it says hazy, visibility 10 miles, all ridges open and clear, blue skies above. All right, and I'm just getting it now that I can actually see that for myself. So there's a little bit of a delay today, apparently. Okay, so TAWS is done. VREF, that's going to be our approach speed. Coming in at 5,400, so our landing speed at slowest is going to be 63 knots. So it doesn't mean I have to come in at 63 knots, which I probably won't. All stations in the Bennett Gap area, 120.7. November Tango Echo, passing through the Bennett Gap for Goroka 10,000, shortly on descent. Right, that was Betty letting us know it's now time to go down. 800 feet per minute. Bar bypass on, landing light and pulse light, because we're just now almost entering into Goroka's airspace. So light and inlet is complete. Abort. If we do need to go around at Goroka, it's power up, pitch for 73, 20 degrees of flaps, reset our power to 740 on the ITT. The maneuver is required. Hold the Goroka Tower now. Goroka Tower, November Tango Echo.
November Tango Echo, Goroka Tower.
November Tango Echo, 15 miles to the east, left 10,000 through the Bennett Gap, your circuit 10.
November Tango Echo, your transmission braking, runway 35 right, wind calm, QNH 1019, and join check at right base, report right base.
1019er, track report right base for 35 right. We'll call again 8 miles.
November Tango Echo.
The reason why I'm calling it 8 miles is just because he said the transmission was broken. It's because all these mountains right in front of me. Goroka's just on the other side of those mountains. So typically, I don't even bother trying to call him until I'm around these mountains. You come through the Bennett Gap here, if you're coming from Madang on that flight, he doesn't hear you because we've got probably about 10,000 foot mountain right here blocking all of the VHF frequencies, and it really doesn't pick up until you're almost in sight of it because you're so low. Right, now I can't actually see the runway or anything like that, so I can't really determine my descent on where I actually want to go and if I'm actually going to get to where I want. So G1000 puts a nice little cyan arc on the screen wherever you've set your altitude bug. So I said 5,600. It puts a little mark when you're going to arrive at that altitude. So right now I'm at 900 feet per minute, and the blue arc or cyan arc is just right on Goroka. If you're flying and you can actually see where you're going and don't have mountains in front of you, then you can just pitch for a visual cue, able to do your descent just fine. Alright, we're 10 miles. Up in harness, we'll get here shortly. I can do my harness. He said to report again on right base. Alright, autopilot is off. There's some villages right down there. What a view, to live up here and have a view of probably, I don't know, what, we're 8,000 feet, so pretty much 3,000 foot over top of the valley floor. That'd be pretty awesome. Goroka Tower, November Tango Echo, now 6 miles, tracking for our right base. We'll report again, right base, 35 right.
November Tango Echo, as required.
Man, super nice out. It's 57 degrees out Fahrenheit right now. Right, we're 4 nautical miles out. Gonna go ahead and push my prop forward. Harness is done. We'll do flaps here shortly and bring my torque back from 1250. I'm gonna be entering base. I'm gonna bring it all the way down to 450. So in the pattern, I fly my torque usually around 450, sometimes 400. It really depends on how heavy you are, how light you are. I am empty today, so probably actually I'm going to bring it down to 350 to 400. my speed down. So I'm under 140. I've actually already got my bypass on because I did it before I came through the gap. 138 knots, first degrees of flap. And I'm a little bit high. Goroka Tower, November Tango Echo, entering right base, 35 right.
November Tango Echo, 35 right, clear to land.
Clear to land, 35 right, November Tango Echo. Alright, we're just waiting to get below 120 knots to put in our 20 degrees of flaps. I want to turn my final at 5,600 feet, which is 500 feet for the threshold. Came in a little bit high because I've got about 1,000 foot on my descent right now. Once I get turning final, it will even itself back out. I just wanted to get down to where I want to. I've got 100 feet more to go. There's 5,600. Full flaps, checklist complete. But I've got the full flaps in there, it'll help slow me down.
500.
Typically I come in at like 70 or 75 into Goroka. Usually it's like the last flight of the day and your brain's already fried from thinking and focusing on flying at slow airspeeds and landing on mountain airstrips, that it's nice just to come in and veg out and enjoy just coming in and not have to think about your speed as much. Alright, I'm just aiming for the numbers on this one. I'm at 76 knots right now. I'm going to be floating probably past the 500 foot marker, but that's alright. If I can land just past that,
Traffic,
that's right
12
where the
o'clock,
hump is.
same altitude, less than
Runway.
1 mile.
There we go. There's like a hump in this runway and it dips down, so if you can land just past that, then you have a really nice smooth landing. But if you land just on the up part of the hump, it's really rough and you bounce it or just if it in really hard. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that flight. Please give this video a thumbs up, it really does help my channel grow. And consider subscribing if you're not subscribed already. I put videos out every Wednesday and Saturday. So be sure to check out some other videos if you guys did enjoy this video, and thanks for coming along. Alright, strobe and landing light, taxi light on. Off our blower, taxi light, pump, aux bus, generator, alternator. Idles all the way back below 585. And cut off below 38%. Go ahead and feather it. Alright, thanks again guys. Have a good one.